Hello, my name is Jakub Gałuszka, and I have a pleasure to contribute to the Unit 6 of TransSafe course, focusing on policies that encourage multimodal transport and land use. So you're perfectly aware of safe system approach with the categories that have been used over years, including safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, safe roads, post-crash care, but have also been recently updated with the recognition of multimodal transport and land use planning as an important element contributing to the road safety. So this is, for instance, visible in a global plan for road safety by World Health Organization and Unit Habitat. But before diving into details, I think it's relevant to really have a definition of what we were talking about, specifically a definition of multimodal hub, which is a key component of multimodality. And I think the one by UITP is quite helpful in here. Really defining a multimodal hub provides a focal point in the transport network that seamlessly integrates different modes, especially mass public transport, shared and active mobility. The definition also mentioned it's really an exercise in connecting different types of movements, placemaking strategies, first and last mile connectivity. So what is that? Is that it illustrates there are different type of nodes, starting with really major ones, such as the example I'm showing now from Berlin, with a main train station, which is really integrating local international trains, local public transport system, including local trains and a metro system, but then also buses, trams, and on the other hand, pedestrian movement, bicycles, e-mobility vehicles, plus vehicles such as taxis and private vehicles. So it's an example of the large, fairly organized node, but can talk about completely different contexts, such as Muntinlupa, a city in the Philippines, where I'm showing now a hub which is more neighborhood based, or let's say city based, with a train station operating quite rarely, but still acting as a hub in a sense that it attracts different modes such as tricycles or jeepneys, which are local minibuses, private minibuses, which then are used by people to move around. And it illustrates an example of a hub which was not really per se very much planned in very detail, but in a way grew organically. And again, going to a smaller neighborhood scale, another example from Berlin, where really we're talking only about integration of pedestrian movement with a local train system and shared mobility with bicycles and different e-mobility modes, which is small in scale, but works quite well. So having those examples in mind and different typologies of multimodal hub, it's now we move to the bigger aspect of the whole thing. So really the aspect of land use planning and multimodal transport and its key principles as defined by the global plan that I have already mentioned about. So I think there are relevant categories for you to look at, specifying in detail what we mean by connecting multimodal transport with land use planning, but to present it in more of a way. I categorize it in two different colors. One really representing, perhaps paradoxically, approaches which help us diminish the amount of travels that have to happen in a context of a city. For instance, by compact urban design, transit-oriented development, or even linked to TOD, developing of public housing in the proximity of multimodal nodes. So all of those developments are aiming at, in a way, desincentivizing mobility, or making it much more attractive to move with public transportation that with private cars, because simply thanks to the proximity of various uses around the multimodal nodes, or TOD, in other words, TOD stops, we lose the necessity of commuting to multiply urban locations. Instead, we just take a public transportation and we end up in one place. Second aspect is really improving various types of opportunities, but improving those mainly for active mobility. So, for instance, pedestrians, bicycles, and developing it in a way which allows for seamless connectivity. But also, for instance, as mentioned in the last point, schemes which make public transportation cheaper for the public. So, in order to give you examples about the first aspect I mentioned in green, here what is marked around the main train station in Berlin is the developments that happened over the last 15-20 years, with a massive amount of office spaces being created, exactly because of the flow of passengers in the station and the connectivity it provides with different parts of the city and country. So in ideal case scenario, actually this should be mixed with public housing, but now it serves as an example of a growth and urban development that multimodal hub can generate. On that, we talked about making it easier and safer for various users to access a hub or access urban space, and Kigali in Rwanda shows quite a lot of efforts to exactly facilitate this aspect with road design that I usually discussed in another modules of that course. And just to finalize with an example of TOD and a BRT, so bus rapid transit system, I wanted to show a bird's eye view of a development linked to BRT in San Francisco, where you see that development of space for bus lanes is not the only element of the whole process. It's really about the transforming the whole road hierarchy with the introduction of bicycle lanes and prioritizing pedestrians. For instance, in here on the top of the picture, you would see if people want to cross the street and get to the stop of BRT, they, first of all, they have a crossing, and second of all, even within those crossings, what's introduced are this little pedestrian bays, and that people can stand and peacefully wait when the light changes and the traffic increases. So it integrates this kind of aspect, but also urban greenery, public space, and different uses around BRT stops. I wanted just to signalize to you which concepts might be relevant for you to explore if you're interested in the topic. So what we mentioned is TOD, bus rapid transit. In European context, 15-minute cities is quite well known. But perhaps from all of those, what I didn't mention about is a mechanism of land value capture, which really relates to the fact that land values around multimodal nodes will always increase, and it is worthwhile to think about a system of a taxation which then re-injects that kind of increase of land value into public money, for instance, with development of further road safety initiatives of public space. So with that, I wanted to complete, and thank you for your attention.